Hello everybody and welcome to the Bristol Motor Speedway for the 2006 Food City 500 and the 6th race of our 2006 NR2003 season. Tony Stewart just led us the green flag alongside Kurt Busch on the front row here at the last great Coliseum in Bristol. Typically a track where we see our most chaotic races of the season, so we'll see what chaos Bristol brings us today as Tony Stewart clear for the race lead, driving away down this back straightaway from Kurt Busch and Greg Biffle behind him. Stewart and Kurt Busch way clear the rest of the field. Obviously, it's a different version of Bristol than the ones we've used in seasons past, so it would be slightly different racing and mechanics throughout. But Tony Stewart out front leading here in Bristol, a great short track racer, of course, Tony Stewart is. Behind him, Kurt Busch having a really good run here in his first race at Bristol in his new ride, the Blue Deuce for Team Penske. But it is Tony Stewart leading the way, and on lap 8, Stewart continuing to lead here at Bristol. Kurt Busch running in second. They're about to lap Martin Truex Jr. back into the top 40. Now Kurt Busch moves Tony Stewart up out of the way. A semi-bump and run there, and Kurt Busch will now take the lead for the first time today here at Bristol, and Kurt Busch will lead his first laps of the season. And they are here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. The Blue Deuce out front. The caution has now come out on lap 18. Trouble, Elliott Sadler. The 30th heavy damage because Truex got spun out with Hermie Sadler, and they got drilled by both Dale Jarrett and Elliott Sadler. A double whammy for Robert Yates Racing. Absolute disaster class, and they're both going to be out of the race, Jarrett and Elliott Sadler. So 41st and 42nd, one of the worst Robert Yates Racing days in their history. Both drivers crash out. And Kurt Busch leads. A caution came out again because Truex gets dumped by Carl Edwards now into Sterling Marlin, who gets spun in front of Reed Sorenson. Then everyone's just stacking up. Bowyer gets sent around. LePage is in it. Jimmie Johnson, Ken Schrader, Travis Kvapil get a piece of it. And already got a wild start here in Bristol, which is what we've come to expect from this track over the years. Kurt Busch still out front, and now Bobby Labonte just drove into Kyle Petty for no apparent reason there under the yellow. But it's Kurt Busch leading after a multi-car incident, our second caution already in the first 25 laps. As we get back underway in lap 30, already down to 39 cars left in the race. Both Robert Yates cars are out, and the rookie of Clint Bowyer out in 43. He needs to struggle, but Kurt Busch leads. There's a huge problem. He's upside down. Is the 45 of Kyle Petty up and over. Jeff Green, Jeff Gordon, Brian Vickers involved. The Schrader got turned by LePage right into Kasey Kahne, who had nowhere to go. Then he got hit by Kyle Petty, who starts barrel rolling. And then the ARCA breaks from Jeff Gordon and Brian Vickers right into the back of the 4 of Scott Wimmer. And then they pile right on in here to Jeff Green and Kyle Petty, which further sends Petty another barrel roll upside down. He lands on all fours. He's done. Gordon's done. Vickers done. Kasey Kahne is done. Jeff Green is done as the huge one strikes early here in Bristol. 3 big pileups in just 30 laps. What a wild way to start this race. As you see everyone stacking up back there, it's going to be Kurt Busch scored as the leader. Now this time on the restart will be Biffle. See back around lap 36, of course, down to 33 cars. Brian Vickers, Scott Wimmer, Jeff Gordon, Kasey Kahne, Kyle Petty, and Jeff Green all crashing out from the big one that just happened a few laps ago. So there's still Greg Biffle leading this pack, but not for long on the inside lane. Here comes the 5 of Kyle Busch. Last season, of course, as a rookie, made it all the way to Homestead to fight for a title. Didn't quite have the car to compete there. Now can Kyle Busch get his first career win at the Bristol Motor Speedway? It would be his second career victory. So Kyle Busch leading here at Bristol on lap 39, though. Tony Stewart, the veteran, on the outside lane. Tony Stewart into the lead here in Bristol. He gets around Kyle Busch, and Tony Stewart, your new leader here in Bristol on lap 55. It is still Stewart in control of this race, leading back nearly 4 wide back here. Leo Scott brings it to Jimmie Johnson. There goes Newman, your defending champion, into the wall. Down to Mark Martin and Dale Jr. They crash again. Caution out once more as Denny Hamlin had some sort of issue down the front stretch, and they were going damn near 5 wide. Scott Riggs hooks Jimmie Johnson, who Newman collides into, then gets drilled by both Dale Jr. and Mark Martin in succession. Robby Gordon, Kevin LePage get a piece of it. Maybe Mark Martin's top 10 streak might come to an end today. We will see. Junior got some damage, but of course mainly the heavy damage to the car that went around there. So Tony Stewart on the lead as we get back underway. LePage and Newman both out of the race as we get back underway on lap 61. About 3 to go in the first stage here. Tony Stewart looking to get his second stage win of the season. Of course, after the incident there with Ryan Newman, your defending series champion, out of this race early. Caution out already. Caution is out on the racetrack here as Tony Stewart leads in Bristol. So that means the stage will end here. We'll get to that in a minute. The caution came out because Jeremy Mayfield just randomly spun out on his own out of nowhere. Gets hit by Brent Sherman. Further down, Kyle Busch sends Scott Riggs semi head-on impact there into the outside pit wall. So heavy damage to Scott Riggs' dodge. I believe that will end his day. But Tony Stewart is going to come out of turn 4, and Tony Stewart will win stage 1 here in Bristol under the yellow. His second stage win of the season. Bobby Labonte is second, Carl Edwards third, Dave Blaney fourth, Travis Kvapil runs their top 5. 6th place going to be Casey Mears in the 42. 7th is going to be Jamie McMurray in the 26th. 8th place is going to be Terry Labonte in the 96th. 9th is going to be Michael Waltrip's number 55 Dodge, and the final stage point is going to go to the 41 of Reed Sorenson. So Tony Stewart wins stage 1 here in Bristol. Now caution comes out, so you get back into lap 68, where it is now Dave Blaney in the 22 Dodge for Bill Davis Racing, restarting as your race leader, as Scott Riggs and Brent Sherman were knocked out of the race from that end of stage 1 instance. Now Dave Blaney leading his first laps of the season in his new ride here in Bristol, looking good to have a shot at good run. Now later the caution comes out as Mark Martin got turned, a hard, almost head-on impact, but a driver's side door impacted into the wall by Kyle Busch. Both drivers get some damage. Caution is out, and that will get Kurt Busch back onto the lead lap. Now we get back underway once again. It will still be Dave Blaney leading this race, with Travis Kvapil running second, followed by Casey Mears in third and Jamie McMurray in fourth. What a wild start to this race here in Bristol. Behind us, there's cars going everywhere out of turn 2. I noticed this, so I instantly cut back, and indeed looks like Carl Edwards is involved in this. And indeed, Carl Edwards just got completely cleaned out by J.J. Yeley, the rookie. Tony Stewart gets a piece of it as well, but Edwards goes around, and just a wild, wild race going on here at Bristol, with Dave Blaney out front, leading probably most laps he's led in a long time. Jeremy Mayfield now out of the race in 29. And now there's the 21 of Schrader, turn in front of the field in the big one. Biffle, Mears, Terry Labonte involved. Tony Stewart gets some significant damage as the 16 Biffle just dumps Schrader and collects about 6 or 7 more cars. Terry Labonte, who's having a great run, Casey Mears in it. Tony Stewart, who won the first stage, was so fast, now heavily damaged, the lap down. Could be the end of his day of being in contention. And more trouble, Kurt Busch, who just got out of the lead up, just got completely junked by Bobby Labonte and David Stremme under the yellow, but luckily he seems to avoid major damage, so he should be okay to continue. So it's still Dave Blaney leading, and he'll continue to do that on lap 89 when the caution comes out yet again. Another incident, and another one involving Mark Martin, who gets turned by Tony Stewart this time, in a big impact for the rookie of J.J. Yeley right into the Mark Martin's door. He has heavy damage. Greg Biffle also catches a little bit more damage. Right now, those guys are just limping around trying to survive this race and salvage whatever points they can. Lap 96, Dave Blaney still leading, but another caution because Ken Schrader got dumped by Kyle Busch, collecting Casey Mears, Joe Nemechek, and sending Tony Stewart for a spin. Now on lap 113, Dave Blaney still leading, but here comes the 2 of Kurt Busch, who has come all the way back from a lap down to the lead. Kurt Busch, new leader in Bristol. He comes back from a lap off the pace to take the lead away from Dave Blaney as they go through lap traffic. There goes the 22. Dave Blaney, who was just leading, got drilled by Denny Hamlin's carcass in the middle of the racetrack as Stremme sent Hamlin head on to the outside wall. A hard hit for the rookie, and then Dave Blaney nowhere to go, right into Denny Hamlin, and heartbreak for Dave Blaney and that Bill Davis Racing team. Dave Blaney was having an unbelievable run. He led a good 46 laps and now has just been crashed out of the race by no fault of his own, being collected in David Stremme and Denny Hamlin's mess. Of course, Hermie Sadler going to be out of the race as well, besides Dave Blaney and Denny Hamlin. And now Kurt Busch will take the race lead, followed by Jamie McMurray in second. So Kurt Busch out front here as we work our way through stage 2 here in Bristol. Now on to the last lap of this second stage of racing. Kurt Busch about to get his first stage win as a driver for Penske Racing in the Blue Deuce, as through turn 3 and 4, Kurt Busch is going to win stage 2 here in Bristol. You got Tony Stewart coming through there behind him, but Jamie McMurray will be second, Bobby Labonte will be third, Travis Kvapil 4th. Casey Mears runs out your top 5, your lead lap drivers. Then Carl Edwards, Jeff Burton, Reed Sorenson, and Jimmie Johnson. 6th through 9th, all 1 lap down. And Tony Stewart earns the final stage point, 2 laps down in 10th. So Kurt Busch wins stage 2 in dominating fashion here at Bristol after Dave Blaney's misfortune. Kurt Busch still out front here on lap 161. No, never mind. Bobby Labonte in the 43 is now taking the lead away from Kurt Busch here with a great restart. And now the 43 is out 24 laps later. Bobby Labonte's car is destroyed, sitting on pit road. He's going to be out of this race. We just missed what happened, but I believe Bobby Labonte crashed out racing the lap car, Joe Nemechek, and they're both gone. And what a turn of events here in Bristol as Kurt Busch leads with 99 laps to go. Carl Edwards just a lap to himself, and there goes David Stremme head on into the wall. Matt Kenseth sends him in. A hellacious impact for Stremme, head-on hit, and his day is done here in Bristol. Maybe a little bit of karma for what he did to Denny Hamlin not so long ago in this race. And so at the front, it'll be Kurt Busch leading. Carl Edwards, though, keep an eye on him getting back on lead laps. Now 17 to go. Kurt Busch still leading, but here comes Carl Edwards. Now he has come back from a lap down like Kurt Busch did earlier. And now Carl Edwards from a lap down to the race leader with just 16 laps to go in Bristol. Carl Edwards to the lead. Can he pull off the upset win? A caution comes out, so now we have a restart with just 6 laps to go in Bristol. Carl Edwards, a huge jump and a massive gap. By the way, Kurt Busch also stuck behind 2 lappers of Biffle and Dale Jr. So it is all but decided, unless another caution comes out, that Carl Edwards will be driving himself into victory lane to make it a 3-peat for Roush. 3 straight race wins, but the caution does come out that Carl Edwards did not want to see as Kevin Harvick got dumped by Jamie McMurray. Harvick going around collects Travis Kvapil and Casey Mears. That brings out the caution flag. That will actually knock Mears and Kvapil out of the race. So now we'll have a green-white checker finish. Carl Edwards, Kurt Busch, Jamie McMurray duking it out for the win. Who is it going to be? McMurray's a lap down. Kurt Busch is on the lead lap in second. Of course, Carl Edwards, your leader. Coming to the white flag. Carl Edwards has McMurray as a blocker, and he's got a big gap. I think it's all but decided now. White flag, final lap. Presented by Credit One Bank here at Bristol Motor Speedway for Carl Edwards, about to get his 2nd career victory in year number 2 and make it a 3 straight wins for Roush as Carl Edwards wins a wild one in Bristol. Kurt Busch comes home 2nd, Jamie Mack in 3rd. And you see the rest of everyone finishing through there. The race results, the full race results from 1st to 42nd are going to be in the description down below. So check that out as I had to obviously go to a different race to the green white checkered. So keep an eye on that. But Carl Edwards wins the Food City 300 here in Bristol, leading 19 laps, getting his 2nd career win, tying him for 93rd all time. So there you go. Carl Edwards, 2 career wins. First at Kansas a season ago, and gets one done here in Bristol. We'll see the updated playoff points in a few short moments. Now here's your updated Nextel Cup Series standings after 6 races of our regular season are complete. Jimmie Johnson still with a comfortable 37-point lead over Mark Martin for that points lead. Mark Martin still looking good in 2nd. Same for Tony Stewart in 3rd. Greg Biffle 4th. Carl Edwards jumps all the way up to 5th in points. Jeff Gordon slips down to 6th in the points, right in the middle of a group with Harvick, Jeff Burton, and Kyle Busch, who are still pretty good double-digit cushions, but are by no means safe above the cut line. And Casey Mears currently sits on the playoff bubble, 7 points above Matt Kenseth for that final spot in the chase. Then you got Michael Waltrip, Kurt Busch, Dale Jr., Bobby Labonte, Jamie McMurray on the outside looking in. And that is your standing. So a big win for Carl Edwards here in Bristol. And as we end this episode, as always, I want to give a shout out to my channel members. So thank you very much to Brenda Breen and Jeremy Isley. I really appreciate your guys' support. It means a lot to me and helps this channel continue to grow and do great things on our road to 1,000 subscribers as we continue to get ever closer. We're at 898. So those of you that are watching and are not subscribed, please do subscribe. It is completely free. It only takes 2 seconds, and it really helps me out and helps this channel grow. So please do that if you can. And if you want to become a channel member, the link is in the description down below, or hit the join button. So until next episode, I hope you all have a good one.